So, someone asked in one of my videos, why did you move to Spain when you were already earning good money from your remote work? I'm not gonna lie, this question hit me harder than I expected because it made me realize that money was never my motivation when I moved to Europe. To give you some context, I was able to apply for Croatia's digital Nomad Visa because I was able to meet the income requirement, which meant I was earning more than enough to have a comfortable life in the Philippines. But you also have to consider that I don't have a family or kids, which meant everything I'm earning is all for myself. Anyway, despite having a comfortable life, I still decided to pack up and move to Europe. What can I say? It's human nature to always want more. But in all honesty, chasing euros was never in my radar because I know that Spain's average salary is not that high. And when I moved to Europe, I was the best version of myself. I was financially, emotionally, physically, and mentally stable. It was ironic how the pandemic put a lot of things in perspective for me. During that time when everyone was stuck and figuring out virtual meetings, I used that time to double down on improving and learning more skills that are useful for remote workers like me. And since I couldn't travel at that time, no one could for obvious reasons, I was able to save money and become debt free. With the stability I had at that time, moving to Europe made so much sense. I consider it as the next chapter of my life. Don't get me wrong, I love the Philippines, but subconsciously, I felt somewhat restricted, that I am missing out on opportunities and that I keep wanting for more. Like I said, human nature. But unexpectedly, when I moved to Europe, something happened that completely shocked me. Remote work opportunities started knocking on my door, and my salary literally quadrupled overnight. And all I did was change my address. It felt as if the universe was telling me, you've been in the wrong place all along. Move and everything will change for the better. Okay, since my move to Spain was never about chasing bigger paychecks, then why did I move here to begin with? It's simple, really. I wanted a better quality of life in a place that would allow me to travel easier and more convenient around Europe. I wanted better options, I wanted better work life balance. And Spain checked all my boxes. First, the fast track to citizenship, I only needed 2 years to qualify. Next, we all know amazing weather year round, free movement across the EU, and perfect time zone for working with UK and US companies. Sounds like a dream come true, and not gonna lie, it is. But here's where it gets interesting and a little infuriating if I'm being honest. So, have you heard of something called location discrimination? So, if you do a quick Google search for the meaning, this is what you'll get. Location discrimination, also known as geographical discrimination, refers to the unfair treatment of individuals based on their geographic location, place of origin, or residence. This can manifest in various forms, such as in hiring practices, compensation, promotions, and access to benefits or training. This is really interesting for me because I have first-hand experience of location discrimination. So back in 2019, I was working with this US startup while I was still in the Philippines. I was crushing it, delivering quality work, meeting deadlines, basically being the employee every company wants. So I asked for a raise naturally, which was still lower than the market rate, but significantly higher than what other companies are paying at that time, which was $5 an hour. The owner agreed I deserved it. However, when human resource department talked to me, it was sort of implied that we can't pay you that much because you live in the Philippines. I was stunned. Same work, same quality, same dedication. But because of my zip code, I was worth less in their eyes. So that happened in October, and by end of December, I submitted my resignation. It is sad, especially knowing that this isn't just my story. It's happening to thousands of remote workers from developing countries every single day. Countless remote workers are getting underpaid by companies in the US primarily, simply because of where they live, not because of what they can do. And here's what really frustrates me. companies knowingly take advantage of this. They outsource to countries like the Philippines, Indonesia, or India specifically because they know they can pay less for the same quality of work. It's not about the cost of living adjustment, it's about maximizing their profit margins. It is business as usual, like always. Now, you can also argue that remote workers shouldn't accept lowball offers, but the truth is, many are just trying to get by, living paycheck to paycheck. And in that situation, it can feel like there's no real choice but to accept, even when the pay is far lower than they deserve. It's sad, really. It's never black and white, and most of the time, companies take advantage of operating in those gray areas. Anyway, fast forward to when I moved to Spain, I had the same skills, the same work experience, and I'm the same person. The only thing that changed was now I have a Spanish address. And guess what happened? They offered me market rate, no questions asked, no excuse to discriminate me because of my location. And voila, my salary quadrupled overnight, just like that. Now, don't get me wrong, I am grateful for this opportunity, but it also made me realize how broken the system is. The quality of my work didn't change, but my location did, and suddenly I was worth 4 times more. So yeah, moving to Spain was never about money, but in the end, it became one of the best financial decisions of my life. You know what they say, universe favors the bold in ways you could never predict, and the real secret, focusing on what you can control and trusting that everything else will fall into place. So there you have it. Looking back at my life before the move, I can say with confidence that things truly have become so much better. It is strange how a simple change in location can completely reshape your life. Now, if you're watching this and you're a remote worker feeling undervalued because of your location, know that you're not alone. Your skills have value regardless of your zip code. If you're thinking about making a similar move or if you've experienced location discrimination in your own career, drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your story. Now, if you want your situation to change, then focus on what you can control and change your location. Yes, it can be as simple as that. A lot of countries have launched their digital Nomad Visa, so you have more options than excuses. Do your research and see what works for you. And if you're a citizen of the Philippines, Ibero-American countries, Portugal, Andorra, and Equatorial Guinea, you will benefit more on Spain's digital nomad visa because it would also allow you to acquire Spanish citizenship after only 2 years of residency. If I were you, I would take advantage of that. And that is it. If you found this video helpful, feel free to like and share. And if you're feeling generous, why not subscribe? As always, if you have questions, feel free to drop a comment below or send me an email. Next week, I'm going to talk about the remote work survival guide and why your skills are your only security. Trust me, you wouldn't want to miss that. See you in the next video and thank you for watching. Hasta luego!